That chess piece with a horse head, that's called a knight, right? But these pieces were huge. Just one of them was the size of a liquor bottle. That piece was pinched between even larger fingers and smashed head-on into one of mine. The remainder of the piece scattered about with a thrilling sound. The audience of card soldiers cheered. The hell?
また駒を一ついただきでちゅよ。
Yikes! Disgusting! Shocking? How do you pronounce it? Shocking? The Shack King's head alone was as huge as a boulder, so his disgusting laugh was boomingly loud. He wore an outfit befitting the king of the card soldiers, topped with a bowl cut and a cock-bottled glasses. What's more, he had pimples all over his face. On the visual and auditory discomfort scale, he'd win in a landslide, no question asked. Elise? Elise? Mr. Rabbit gripped his head helplessly.
しっかりしてよ、ウサギさん。なんかインチキなガチャガチャみたいだよね。
Kanae? Who is Kanae?
さっきからあと一息、あと一息の繰り返しだよ。一体何歩課金すればいいわけさ。ごめんよ、エリス。ごめんよ。あとちょっとで勝てるんだ。勝てるはずなんだよ。
There was a gargantuan chessboard between us and the Shack King. On it were a mix of what appeared to be red and black chess pieces. But this was in fact Shack, a game similar to but completely different than chess. Oh my god. It's chess backward, isn't it? Shack. Chess. This is so dumb.
惜しいでちゅね。大きな駒を失っちゃったでちゅね。
Holy shit, he looks really disturbing.
まだまだそちらにも置ける駒はあるでちゅよ。ゲームが面白くなるのはこれからなのでちゅ。
Yikes.
参ったな、もう。仕方ないな。もうほんとこれっきりだからね。エリス、ありがとう、助かるよ。
Some parts of Shack resembled shogi. Much like that game, you could add new pieces to the board. The card soldiers cheered with joy when they learned I decided to add new pieces.
まあ問題は新しい駒を作るのがちょいと面倒なだけなんだけどね。でもエリスは強いから助かるよ。僕にもっと勇気があったら。まあまあいいっていいって。そこはこのエリス姫に任せといて。
A trolley with tools showed up, and the audience cheered again. Boy, they sure don't pull any punches, huh? The card soldier's trolley contained an assortment of sickening torture tools whose purpose I didn't want to imagine.
今度はどんな駒が追加されちゃうですか。あんまり強い駒だと困っちゃうでちゅ。
ああ、うさぎさん、マジで次はチェックメイトをお願いね。そのつもりだよ。大駒を揃えて一気にチェックメイトしてやるんだ。
Is this how chessboard works? It's definitely not how chess works.
大駒を揃えてって今度はどんな駒がどのくらいいるわけ？頼みにくいんだけど。ちゃんと来なさいな。 ミノベ犬王国はこのエリス姫様が守るんだからね。
頼もしいお姫様でちゅよ。ますます好きになったでちゅ。きっとこの国を手に入れて僕ちの新しい家族に迎えてあげるでちゅ。
次マジでパス。うさぎさん、マジで強い駒よろしくさ。それで何の駒がいるんだって？
The rabbit fidgeted apologetically.
左手の小指と左手の手首、あと右手の指を4本ももらえればきっと。
What? Left pinky and worse? If I could forefinger from your right hand? What?
本当にそれだけ？それだけで駒が足りるの？できればあと左目の駒も欲しいんだよ。あれがあればきっと。
Wait, what?
もう一コマサービスしちゃうからさ。今度こそ絶対決めてよ。
What?
ありがとうエリス。じゃあ上の前歯を3本と奥歯を2本でもう一つコマを。
3 of your front teeth and 2 from the back?
へいへい、好きにしてちょうだいな。
What?
ありがとうエリス。これで勝てるよ。今度こそ絶対に勝てる。
Oh my god, no, the music stops. And with that apology, Mr. Rabbit picked up a torture tool similar to a giant pair of nail clippers and approached me. The animated audience suddenly fell silent and gulped as they watched. When I thought about it, the main attraction of this game, no, this show, was less the match itself and more the adding of new pieces. After all, even the Shack King was watching me with far more excitement than when he took any of the pieces on the board. Wasn't he intending to make me part of his family? At this rate, my whole body would become Shack pieces before that ever happened, wouldn't it?
じゃあ左手の小指から行くからね。
Seriously, what is this? What's happening? Who is she? What is going on? Oh, ikinari torture scene. What's going on?
ごめんねエリス。ごめんね。謝んなくていいから。次こそ絶対にチェックメイトをよろしく。
Mr. Rabbit placed the nail clipper, no, finger clippers made from the sole purpose of cleaving off a left pinky above my left hand. Why was such a large audience so quiet? It'd be way easier to distract myself if they were cheering like they were before.
変にビクビクしないで、バチーンと一発でお願いね。さっきみたいに下手に気を使われる方がかえって痛いんだからさ。
Like last time?
ごめん。今度はもっと痛くないようにする。
Mr. Rabbit put the tip of the razor-sharp blade against the last finger I had on my left hand. Okay. Wait, the last finger I had on my left hand? What? No! Yes, that's right. I already given up the others in exchange for more pieces.
どうせ手首も切るんでしょ。先にそっちからやってくれればいいのに。ルールだからね。仕方ないんだ。じゃあ行くよ。
I'd be damned if I gave that people-faced bastard and the audience anything to rejoice over. Don't acknowledge it. Don't acknowledge it.
せーの。そういうの言わないでいいから。無言でザクッと来てちょうだい。
don't acknowledge it. Don't acknowledge it. I felt like there was a red-hot iron searing the spot where my pinky used to be, now swollen 100-fold. The swelling ached in sync with the rapid beating of my heart. But no, I couldn't acknowledge it. I couldn't bear it if I did. I simply stared off into space as I bit my upper lip, my eyes widening. And then I concentrated solely on the thought that I was nothing more than a statue.
次は左手首ね。あ、変に気を使われる方が痛いんだよね。ごめんごめん。
Holy shit. I didn't care anymore. I just wanted to get it over. I just wanted to get it over with. It was talking all I had to wear a mask of confusion. It was suffocating. Just then, I locked eyes with the Seth King. He, along with the audience of card soldiers, stared at me with rapt attention. Their faces were lit up with anticipation. Screw you all. Like hell I'll play to your expectations. Like hell. Like hell. Like hell. I felt like my brain had been stabbed with a sharpened ice pick. And immediately after, the sensation in everything from my left wrist up had become a giant scorching heart, which beat violently. I couldn't acknowledge it. I couldn't acknowledge it. I couldn't accept that sensation. I was a statue. I was a statue. A statue. A statue. A statue. What is going on? Who is she? I fought back, everything building in my throat. If I release it, that meant I would have acknowledged it. But despite all my efforts, I whimpered anyway.
何か言った？言った？言った？
別に。何？
I put on the bravest face I could muster, yet couldn't hide the beads of cold sweat seeping down my face. Even so, I couldn't acknowledge it. I couldn't acknowledge it. Okay, what's going on? Acknowledge something. I would never give the damn audience what they wanted.
次は右手の指4本だから。大丈夫？大丈夫？なんか使うなって言ってんで。
I gave the rabbit a twisted smile to show I was fine, even as sweat poured down my forehead. I couldn't accept it hurt. I couldn't acknowledge it. I couldn't acknowledge it. Just then, there was a gust of air out of nowhere, carrying a leaf. The leaf carries my left hand. What? And I felt my desperate resistance shattered to pieces. No. Mr. Rabbit. What is going on? Mr. Rabbit. Mr. Rabbit had just finished it. What is going on? Mr. Rabbit has just finished shutting up a horrific metallic device that will rip off my fingers.
行くよ。無理。
Oh no, Kanae.
無理無理無理無理。絶対無理。でもあと右手の指を4本と左目と上の前歯3本と奥歯を2本もらわないと駒が揃わないよ。
But we won't have enough pieces unless we take 4 of your fingers, your left eye, 3 of your front teeth. Oh my god, no.
無理無理無理だってば。無理無理無理無理。ごめんねエリス。この国を守るためだよ。許して。
その声がたまらないですよ。
The card soldier audience surged in a wave of ecstasy and excitement. Pimple Face was also rolling around with laughter. But Mr. Rabbit's display of consideration was just as annoying to me. Oh my god, shut up, Rabbit. I hate this rabbit. What does it matter? It's all the same. Why don't you take my place for a change, huh?
さあ、次は目でちか、前歯でちか、奥歯でちか。さあさあ、皆さんはどっちがいいですか？左目から目前歯奥歯もギリギリ引き抜いて。
どっちからにするの？エリスが決めてくれなきゃわかんないよ。
Mr. Rabbit took a birdcage-shaped torture tool and put it on my head. Mr. Rabbit, what are you doing this? There was now a sharp, pointy drill literally staring me in the eye. Mr. Rabbit shut the hinges tight so I couldn't take it off.
じゃあ、今度は行くよって言わないからね。言わないからね。言わないからね。
He spun a handle attached to the cage. Just then, the drill approached my eye with a grinding noise. I closed my eyes, and the drill hit my eyelid. The drill shrieked as it pierced right through it. However, my smile never broke. I had to smile, or I'd lose. That was my belief. But just then, all of that suddenly receded. I heard someone calling me. Who? Who was it? Whoever it was, I could tell that their calls had ended this nightmare. But this was the first time that ever happened.
大丈夫ですか?
What? There was a boy in front of me. He wasn't in my class. This complete stranger had been the one calling out to me.
おいらのこと？
ひどく具合が悪そうに見えたので、大丈夫かなって。
I didn't know him, but the purity in his eyes conveyed his sincerity. If he hadn't said anything, I'd probably be continuing to suffer in my nightmare. Still though, I felt like today's dream had been particularly horrible. I couldn't remember it well, but it had definitely been an awful one.
誰だか知んないけど、ありがとう。おいらってちょっぴり悪夢症でさ。
割と元気そうだぜ。よかったよかった。
みたいだね。でも一度先生に相談してみてね。夢は心や体調のサインであることも多いから。
あんがとう。でもまあおいらのは多分そういうのじゃないから。不思議の国のアリスならぬ悪夢の国のエリスだからね。とにかくありがとう。あんたも用があって通りかかったんでしょ？昼休みは短いよ。さあさあ、行って行って。
うん。じゃあ失礼します。先生、傷の消毒をお願いします。お昼寝中お邪魔をしてすみませんでした。
そんな寝てないわよ。ちょっと午後の陽気にうつらうつらとしちゃってただけなんだから。
へっへっへ、その言い訳じゃあ確実に廊下に立たされますぜ。というか先週来た時も確か居眠りしてませんでしたっけ？
に告げ口するのは許してよね。じゃないと私、教頭先生に怒られる、査定が最低、学校クビ、路頭に迷う、死。お願いよ、教頭先生には黙っててくれるなら、先生、いけない個人授業とか特別にしてあげようかな。そしてその光景を隠し撮り、脅迫、口止め料たんまり、左打ちはでウハウハ、素敵なセレブとの恋も。
鈴原先生にいきなり腹パンかよ。さすがグレートな男だぜ。
まだ寝ぼけてるみたいだったから着付けにいいかなと思って。
ナイスパンチよ。ありがとう、すっきりしたわ。ところであなたたち、部活動は何かやってる？
いえ、何も。
鈴原は空手やってたんだろ。空手部とか入ればきっとグレートな伝説を築いちまう気がするぜ。
空手をやってるの？結構立派な拳をしてるとは思ってたけど。
ちょっと違うんですけど、まあ家で自主練をしてます。
それはとても忙しい？
毎日夕方は欠かさずに。
さすがだぜ。
でもちょっとくらいは時間が取れない？
何かの部活の勧誘ですか？
察しがいいわね。私が顧問をしているとある部に決して怪しい部活じゃないのよ。ちゃんと学校公認だし、部活の都合の合う時だけ参加してくれてもいいの。休日の活動もあるけれど、たまにだけよ。
休日がなくなるのは嫌だな。
たまによ、せいぜい月に。
何の部活ですか？
よくぞ聞いてくれました。その名もズバリシャチホコ部。
シャチ
ホコ？
スズム？落ちたかまで。
キコちゃんもシャチホコ部だったんだね。
もったいぶらずに教えてくださいよ先生。何なんすかシャチホコ部って。すんげえグレートな響きを感じるっすよ。
正式名称は社会地域奉仕貢献部っていうの。略してシャチホコ部ってわけね。
社会地域
奉仕貢献部？
シャチホコ部は地元での奉仕活動などを主体とした部活なの。紹介するね。シャチホコ部の部長の見延かなえ先輩。おいら見延。部長とか呼ばないでね。なんかめんどくさい気持ちになるから。
先輩だったのか。ちっちゃいから後輩かと思ってたぜ。
おいらは発育不良児だからさ、背とかちっとも伸びないのよ。先輩面するつもりなんか全然ないから、君たちも気楽にやってちょー。
はい、見延先輩。
って俺たち入部するってまだ決めたわけじゃないっすよ。
シャチホコ部で奉仕活動とかしてたら、進学や就職の時に面接で有利になると思うわよ。それだけじゃない。地域への貢献は徳を積むことにもなるの。豊かな人間性や魂を育み、心も清らかになってとても素敵なんだから。自分はいいことしてるんだっていう気持ち、すっごくいいよね。ハートもハッピーハッピーになって、エブリバディスマイルスマイルになるよ。
キコちゃんはシャチホコ部が気に入ってるみたいだね。
まあ雛形先生と見延先輩の雰囲気がアットホームな感じで、そこが好きなの。
Oh my god. At last. With so few of them, they were less of a club and more of a group of friends. No, a family. That cozy atmosphere probably suited Kiko and Minobe well.
体験入部からで全然 OK なのよ。
あ、いや今日来てない部員ってのはどんなやつかなーって思っただけさ。
それは僕も気になるな。日曜日に来るなら 挨拶できるかな。
さあどうかな。布川さんは忙しい人だし、黒髪さんは気まぐれな人だし。
Kurokami? That bitch horny on main Kurokami?
黒髪さん？
そう、うちのクラスの。
But wait, was all that seen earlier didn't even happen or? Toe Kurokami, a mysterious girl who was completely ignored by the entire school. She never spoke to anyone, nor would she even look them in the eye. Today, she's gone to class capriciously, only to leave on a whim and never come back, just like always. Even if the teachers noticed, they didn't say anything. And by this point, her classmates had nothing but bad rumors to spread about her. I admit I was curious about her once or twice, but then Kiko warned me not to get close to her. If Kurokami wanted to make friends but was being ignored by the others, then I'd want to help her. But she loved her solitude, and no one wanted to talk to her. In that case, neither of us had any reason to get mixed up with one another. However, whenever I heard her name, I felt a twinge of pain in my heart for some reason.
じゃあ登り旗を組み立てようかね。わかる？
こんな感じですか？
上出来上出来。
The banner fluttered in the wind, reading 82 children orphaned in car accidents. What? That's so specific. Essentially, we were helping children who lost their parent in a car accident. Yeah, of course, duh. The money from this fundraiser would be used to financially support them. Yes?
今日まで健やかに過ごせたのは両親のおかげだし、
Yes, thank you, my parents.
それをよくかみしめて感謝しながら頑張りたいな。
ま、交通事故に限らず、いろんな理由で親がいなくなる子供がいるよ。
Okay, this is getting more and more morbid.
そのいずれも子供側からしたらちょっとした不運の問題。両親に感謝できるってこと自体、幸運にたくさん恵まれてたと自覚するべきだろうね。
はい、先輩、その通りだと思います。
At first glance, Minobe seemed a bit too carefree for her own good. But that was all on the surface, and she was in fact a good, considerate person. Yeah, I wonder what about her nightmare, the chess game and all. As noon approached, the crowds died down, and the north entrance went back to its normal peace and quiet. People sure are strange creatures. If they see a crowd, they join right in. Thanks to that large crowd of people going to that bombardment event, even people who weren't stopped by to donate. As a result, the now deserted north entrance was netted us enough donation to wipe down our collection boxes. All thanks to Minobe's scrupulous preparations. Though I was a bit surprised as just how much money she brought along for the exchanges.
オイラは自分の全財産を常に持ち歩いているのだよ。
What? Why? Why? Don't do that.
いつ冒険が始まるかわからないからね。
冒険だ冒険。
冒険はね、カレンダーに予定を記す旅行なんかとは違うのだよ。ある日突然、未知なる国へ冒険に行かなければならなくなるものなのさ。
先輩っていろいろと用意周到なんですね。でも今日お釣りで多分何万円かは使いましたよね。先輩って結構お金持ちですね。
お金持ち？オイラが？
Minobe cackled with surprise as if to say, "Don't be ridiculous."
お オイラは逆なの。超貧乏だから日頃からずっとお金を貯め続けてるわけ。
Okay. Interesting.
いつ冒険が始まるかわからないからですね。
冒険だ冒険。
そういうわけ。お金だけじゃないよ。ナイフもランプもカバンに詰め込んでるのだ。
Okay. What, really? Minobe opened her bag, revealing various tools that you take camping and such.
先輩の冒険カバンなんですね。
そう、オイラはこう見えて冒険のお姫様。
Oh no.
不思議の国のエリスさんだからね。
Oh no. Oh no. Does that mean the nightmare he has to play with her body? What? Not like I could tell him. Ripping out your own body parts to create new pieces wasn't exactly something you wanted to talk about.
エリス、
Oh
エリ
no!
ス、
Not this
大丈
scene!
夫？よかった。腕も指も生えてきたよ。歯も目玉も生えてきた。
No.
まあオイラは無敵の不死身だからね。
Oh no. It seems I'd lose consciousness from having my body ripped apart. It seems, yeah. Guess I shouldn't have been surprised. Anyone would be faint after having something that messed up happen to them.
おや、お目覚めでちか。おはようモーニングですよ、エリス姫。いい夢は見られましたでちか。
こっちが夢だったらどんなにか良かったかね。
But this was also reality. That hellish pain, getting my fingers and arm torn off, all of it. It was then I noticed that rowdy audience of card soldiers had completely vanished. The only ones there were me. The only ones there were me, Mr. Rabbit, and the pimple-faced bastard himself, the sex king. What happened to the sex match? The audience was gone, so did that mean it was over?
んで、ウサギさん、勝負はどうなったわけ？
Why is this music so annoying? Oh my god. Yeah.
頑張ったよ。僕はすごく頑張ったんだ。
Oh, shut up, Rabbit. I hate you too.
僕ちん大苦戦したんでちゅ。大ピンチの連続だったんでちゅよ。
ああ、もういいわ。なんかオイラ、オチが分かったわ。
This scum was the kind of guy who'd get off on that. I had to say it plain and simple.
エリスはセチュの王様の新しい家族になります。
There, I said it. Happy now? Oh no, I don't like this. But right before I could say that, the world went dark, as if someone had flipped a light switch. The sky's colors were wondrous, typical of a night in Wonderland. It wasn't black as crow feathers, like it was in the other world. A dazzling silver moon shone in the heavens. Countless fairies danced rainbows across the sky. It would have been a magical sight, if I were the only one here, that is.
どんな景色もあんたと一緒じゃ興ざめだね。
When I turned around, I almost jumped when I saw his eyes and nose right in front of me. His usual frivolous expression was nowhere to be found. Instead, he gave me a sharp glare that sent shivers down my spine, one I'd never seen from him before. I'd always found the Sack King annoying, but never once had he actually scared me. Overcome with that fear, I fell on my backside. The Sack King smirked, as if he found it amusing, and just like that, he was back to his usual dumb grin on his ugly, pimply face.
嬉しいでちゅよ、 エリス。そしてもう寂しくないでちゅよ。エリスには互いを思い合う大勢の家族ができたのでちゅから。
Nothing in this world is more sacred and wonderful than familial love. Romantic love is held up as the most sacred love of all, but when you really think about it, it's based on the unstable scale known as lust. Repulsive, when you say, oh no, 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 no. Romance and the like are nothing but fancy garments to drape over lust. And at the end of that rampage lies divorce and the destruction of familial love. Repulsive, utterly repulsive.
僕ちんはね、思うのでちゅよ。家族愛とは男女の性差を飛び越えた真の愛情。
No, 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 no.
人は肉欲という煩悩から解放されるために、その根源となる性差を克服せねばならないのでちゅ。だから僕ちんは伝えたい。家族の愛の素晴らしさを。
Ugh, gross. Does he fancy himself a philosopher or something? He was a giant caterpillar, covered in odious red and black spots. The only thing that remained the same was that disgusting pimple face of his. I felt like I was going mad from the shock. That was why the aspect of him was actually a minor relief to me. His countless legs wriggled loudly as he slithered over to me. Yikes. Still frozen where I sat, I could only watch as he covered my body with his. No!
何するの？
No! No!
僕ちんの芋虫ランドの家族に加わるのでちかな。
No!
エニスにも家族みんなとお揃いの素敵な芋虫模様になってほしいのでちゅんよ。
No! What is this? With a squishy noise, something came out. The giant caterpillar hanging over me had released something from his abdomen. It was soft and squishy. That long object was a sickening dark red on the inside and had... No, no, is it...
大丈夫でちゅよ。でちゅよ。痛くないでちゅよ。エリスにも芋虫ランドの新しい家族にふさわしい素敵なまだら模様を描いてあげまちゅよ。そうしたらエリスは身も心も僕ちんたちの家族なのでちゅ。
No! What is this, CG? No! The pain wasn't anything like being injected with a syringe. No, it was like having both a rusty dagger and metal pole shoved into me. No. No. Oh my god, shut up! No! This is so uncomfortable, no! 綺麗な模様に
にしてあげまちゅからね。
I really can.
まちゅからね。
I just can.
芋虫の家族になんかならないからもうやめて
I was trapped in a torture cycle. Stop. Pain, repulsion. The only way I could find some sort of escape from those was letting my heart freeze over. The Prince of Moonsoot wouldn't be coming to save me. Every time I regained consciousness, I found myself being rolled face up or face down. I could see those disgusting swollen lumps all over my body. Lumps? No, that wasn't right. My whole body was swelling up. By now, I was already a caterpillar monster. Just then, the door opened. But it wasn't Miss Hinagata.
あれクロッチじゃんメール見てくれたんだ
Kuroki, as in Kurokami, I got it. However, she was staring out into space as always. Okay.
来てくれただけでも嬉しいよ今日も調子悪そうだねたまに来てくれるの調子がいい時は手伝ったりもしてくれるんだけど
黒髪ってなんでシャチホコ部にいるんだ？
さあほら雛形先生って結構気まぐれだから
She looked right into my eyes. Though she'd been staggering just seconds ago, that all came to a stop. Meanwhile, I found myself staring right into her eyes too.
ああクロッチは初対面だよね紹介するよ我が部のニューホープの2人
I'm rather confused because in the previous chapter, wasn't she stabbed her neck or something and the school is on fire?
Yeah.
What is going on? Her face wrenched with agony the moment I called out to her. So she really wasn't feeling well after all.
大丈夫？
Oh. But after I took a single step forward, Kurokami covered her face with the doll in her left hand while motioning for me to stop with her right. Sweat rose to the surface of her agonized face.
具合悪いの？雛形先生を呼んでくるよ。
夜なと言っている
どうして？
お前の
What? Corruption? Am I a politician?
汚れが苦しい
And with that, Kurokami turned around, still fighting back the agony. I couldn't think of anything to say to her. It was a common misunderstanding, but the Susuhara Divine Tribe would... what? The Susuhara Divine Tribute style wasn't for fighting. Its primary goal was to sublimate a pure heart cultivated in training through martial arts, then dedicate that to God.
なのにクロッチに汚れてるとか言われちゃショックだよね
僕の修行がまだ未熟だからだと思います。
先輩麦茶入れてきました
Mugicha tastes so good. I wanted to be like my father and hold martial arts demonstrations at temples and shrines someday. Any corruption had to be purged before that was possible. I had to free myself from obstructive thoughts and hone my spirit. The apartment complex backyard was my training ground. I channeled all my spirit into my fist and punched a cherry blossom tree with straw wrapped around it. I was a bit sluggish today. I really did have a long way to go if Minobe's presence was enough to dull my fist.
すごいね。よく素手で木をパンチして痛くないもんだね。砂を詰めたバケツをパンチしてることもありますよ。ズズムンかっこいい。おいら惚れちゃいそうだ。
集中。
I trained to the bone until the sky turned indigo, then took a shower and had dinner. Kiko's mom always cooked our evening meals. I took my shower and went to room 101, only to find Minobe there as well.
わあ、スズム。シャンプーの香りでめっちゃフェロモン出てる。お母さんが夕飯を一緒にどうって言ってくれたの。おいら畳の上で家族ご飯食べるの割と憧れだったんだ。
What about your family in your home?
僕も一人っ子だから賑やかなご飯はすごく楽しいです。
つばきこ、配膳手伝って。
鈴野くん、テレビのリモコンを取ってもらっていいかい？
はい、どうぞ。
見延さんは野球とか見る？
いや見たことないです。
じゃあ一緒に見ようか。楽しいぞ。
お待たせだよ。
はい、先輩。
ありがとう。
Everyone sat together and began eating. We were having somen and tempura for dinner. Just seeing the ice cubes floating atop the soup in our glass bowls was enough to cool us down. Though it wasn't quite summer yet, the days had been hot and sweaty, so this was the perfect dish.
すごい。そうめんってこんなに美味しかったんだ。氷が入って冷えてるだけでこんなにも美味しくなるんだね。先輩の家のそうめんって違うんですか？おいらの家のは茹でたのに流水をかけただけのぬるいのが出てくるよ。すぐベタベタになってくっついて塊になっちゃって食べづらいし、嫌いだったはずなのにこんなに美味しいなんて知らなかったな。
Minobe lowered her head a little sadly. But she was back to her usual cheerful smile by the time she raised her head. So when I opened the door and saw the sight that awaited me, I was convinced I was still dreaming. I should have seen the same old scenery outside. But instead, I was faced with a wondrous world, the like of which I'd never seen before.
起こしちゃってごめん。
ミノベ先輩。
She wore a blue dress. Meanwhile, I realized I was in my school uniform instead of my night clothes. We were in a strange world where giant mushrooms with polka dots and star patterns upon them grew. I turned around, only to discover even my place had become part of this bizarre land. It changed into a room from a cabin straight out of a fairy tale.
これ
ああ、ごめんね。深く考えないで。夢の続きだと思って。明日になったらさっぱり忘れてるから。
夢の中の人にこれは夢だって言われるのは初めてです。
まあここではこっちが現実で向こうこそが夢なわけだけど、難しいことは考えなくていいよ。
Minobe laughed as she went inside. Just then, a clothed rabbit walking on its hind legs followed her. It was like something from a picture book.
おお、あなたがムーンスートの王子様。
I hate you. You worthless rabbit. You can't even do chess. You can't even play chess right. Come to think of it, I called her by her last name. That was supposed to be my way. That was supposed to be my way of showing her due respect, but perhaps it sounded like I viewed her as a stranger. Looking at her over my shoulder drove home just how tiny she was. She was so dainty that I probably would have thought she was younger than me if we'd met under different circumstances. After all, I already misread her by her laid-back attitude at first, hadn't I?
僕に力になれることがあったら何でも言ってください。いつでもどんな時でも必ず力になりますから。
嬉しいな。その言葉だけでもすっごい救われる。
She perched her head against my shoulder. Though she sounded happy, I could hear her sniffle. While her face was hidden and I couldn't read her mind, my heart ached for the burden she was carrying day after day.
やっぱりスズムンは王子様だね。
ここって以前話してくれた不思議の国なんですよね。ここでは見延かなえじゃなくてエリスだって言ってましたよね。
そう、不思議の国のエリス姫なんだ。
じゃあここでは僕が王子様でもいいんだ。だってここは不思議の国という向こうとは違うもう一つの現実なんだから。
本当にいいの？だって姫様と王子様がいたら恋に落ちちゃうって決まってるよ。
Oh.
だってここは不思議の国じゃないですか。不思議の国でお姫様と王子様が出会ったら僕もそれが必然だと思います。
She raised her head, put her hands on my shoulders, and looked deep in my eyes.
スズムンとはもうちょっとだけ早く会えてたらな。
It's kind of the theme, right? Kurokami said that it was too late. Kanae said that she wished she met Suzumu just a little sooner.
そうしたら
Oh no.
綺麗な私で会えたのに。
Not this again.
汚れたってすすけたって何も変わらないです。
絶対だよ。
I don't like this.
絶対に受け入れてね。私
What is going on? It's happening again. Just like Kurokami.
大丈夫？
I could see sweat gathering on her face. Something wasn't right. It was like she was resisting something. Despite that, she rose slowly from her chair. Was she not feeling well? Or maybe she'd been feeling sick for a while now. She touched her stomach, no, slightly lower. That slight sensation caused her to groan. I was about to tell her she should sit back down, but then she grabbed her skirt.
絶対に目を離す。
Minobe gave a strained smile. And then she started pulling her skirt up little by little. Her knees were exposed. followed by her pristine thighs. However, she kept rolling it up like a stage curtain. She even exposed her underwear. And finally, she exposed herself all the way up to her navel.
何を
What is going on? She grinned again, still holding up her skirt. Of course, her face was still clammy. She then reached for the silver knives by the pancakes.
どうしちゃったんですか
Her eyes were glazed, her cheek flushed, and her breath sweet. I stood frozen, as though under some spell. A moment later, she took the knife and caressed her abdomen with it. The contrast between her sweaty skin and the silver knife was beautiful beyond compare. All of a sudden, the white tablecloth was painted with a red splash. Minobe had plunged the knife right into her abdomen.
何を
It should have hurt, yet she only endured it with a strained smile, gesturing for me to stop. She dug the blade in even deeper until she finally reached something.
スズメに会いたかったな。人間のうちに。
Once she finished removing the skin on her human legs, I was greeted with 2 rows of countless other appendages. They wriggled around on her bottom half, covered in repulsive dark red spots like a caterpillars. Though she was still the same girl in a dress on the top, her bottom was that of a massive, horrifying caterpillar. What's more, a part of it was sticking out like a giant needle. Its tip shook, dripping forth what looked like blood and mucus. I froze the moment I realized it was pointed right at me.
もうダメ。スズメのこと好きすぎて。はい。
No. The caterpillar human slid my way and looked down as if it were about to crush me.
スズメのこと家族に迎えたい。
She brought the sharp protrusion closer and closer to my chest. My mind had gone blank long ago. If I were to laugh, would all this just turn out to be one big practical joke? That thought helped me force an awkward smile onto my stunned face.
先輩僕よくわからないです何が
I took everything I had just to stand up and stagger away, let alone ask her that. But neither my face nor words could conceal the revulsion I felt. She must have felt hurt and angered.
だよね。
I knew it.
こんな汚らわしい姿受け入れられないよね。でもね、私だってもう自分で自分がわけがわからないんだ。迎えたいの。家族にスズムンを芋虫 しランドに全身にびっしり私と同じ毒々芋虫まだらん模様スズムンとお揃いの毒々まだら模様
I saw the tip of her tube using mucus tinged with a repulsive hue and let out the shrill scream of my life.
全身に管を突き立てられてブリブリと気持ち悪いコブを作られるのってすっごく辛いことそれが分かってるはずなのにそれでもなおスズムの全身を私の汚らしいドロドロの管でブリブリとスズムの全身を犯し尽くしたい
All of a sudden, everything shook with a rumble. The teaspoon rang on the table. Minobe's face froze, and she looked around in confusion. There it was again, another rumble. It was stronger than the last one. Some dust fell from the ceiling. Minobe's face darkened.
何事静かに
Minobe pressed a finger to my lips and slithered to the door. She opened the door and went outside. That was the perfect chance to escape. But I couldn't break free from the silk no matter how hard I tried. However, I could still roll in it. I had to hide somewhere until Minobe came to her senses. I rolled and crawled like a caterpillar myself, aiming for the door. When there were several loud thumps, followed by the ground shaking. I could tell when whatever was causing the shaking was an unnatural phenomenon. It was the sound of a new terror, far beyond the likes of Minobe. Those tremors felt like a giant's footsteps. Just when I was a hair's breadth away from the exit, Minobe came back. She lifted me up and tossed me on the floor.
ごめんねスズム少しおとなしくしててあんな化け物どこから
Her face was stricken with worry. Minobe was more than enough of a monster herself at this point, yet here she was calling something else a monster. I couldn't doubt it any longer. These tremors were the sound of a massive creature stomping about. Minobe locked the door, but that wouldn't do any good against something so gargantuan. She threw her head back, took another deep breath, and started spewing silk threads once again. She used it to block the door like a spider web. What? And then I saw it. The sky. No, the ceiling, being torn and wrenched open by massive black claws. The ceiling was torn off. Splinters fell everywhere. With that, a gaping white hole to the sky was revealed. What? A giant shadow stood against the purple sky looking down on us. That monster was as big as a skyscraper. This evil black hair hung from its head like a willow tree framed by two bent branches. Its razor-sharp claws lunged for me. Minobe knocked me aside and charged at the giant black arm. Angered the giant. It swiftly grabbed Minobe and wrapped its gargantuan hand around her. The monster carried her up into the sky as though she were just a doll. I could hear Minobe's voice high in the pitch black sky. Before long, agony started seeping into her cries. All of a sudden, her shout vanished right as the sound of a branch snapping rang out. And with that, something came dripping down from up above. They were crushed entrails, followed by Minobe's arm, torso, and head. It crashed right into the floor and rolled towards me. And though she'd been reduced to solely a head, Minobe was still conscious. A single tear leaked from Minobe's eye, and with that, her life came to an end. Suddenly, a thumb as thick as a log came down and squished her head flat like a quail egg. The giant hand picked me up next, taking me up to the sky. I felt like I was going up the first hill of a particular tall roller coaster. Though I was scared out of my mind, I couldn't help but laugh my heart out. And when I reached the top of the sky, I saw the moon. The last moon I'd ever see. The last sight I've ever saw in Wonderland. I woke up to find myself sweaty and staring at the ceiling, my body contoured in an odd position. I felt like I just had the worst nightmare of my life, one that defied any explanation. The details had been so clear just moments earlier, but with every blink and wipe of my forehead, they faded further and further away. I took another look at the ceiling. It was the same wooden ceiling I'd recently gotten used to. I got the impression that I couldn't calm down unless I'd made sure of that. Minobe had said dreams could be another reality, didn't she? What I felt was dissonance from that reality not connecting to this one. But something like that couldn't possibly exist. That was a dream, and this was a reality. I took a deep breath to calm down. I must have had that bizarre dream because I was conscious of the fact that Minobe was sleeping over next door. That had to be it. The dream I only just been having. Minobe's arm, torso, and head all crushed and ripped to pieces. The dream connected to reality. What? The moonlight seeped into my room, revealing liberal splash of blood painted all over. Scattered chunks of meat littered around. Among them included a squashed arm, a severed torso, and just like in that dream, Minobe's crushed head lying right next to my pillow. I screamed at the top of my lungs and burst out of my room. I couldn't resist the fear engraved in my cells, shouting at me to flee from the scene of her death. Recognition came to me. That bizarre figure with long black hair and withered branches jutting out of their head had looked down on me in that nightmare world. Suddenly, something stuck out within the shadow. It was a small Japanese doll that I'd seen somewhere before. Pale arms were holding it out from within the shadow, and with a plop, the doll's tiny head fell off. Its arms and torso broke apart and followed suit, scattering at the shadow's feet. With that, the pale hand stuck even further out, and a girl emerged from the shadow. I didn't mean that she was the one projecting the shadow. I meant she literally walked out from within it. I knew her. She stepped towards me, trampling over the scattered doll, and spread her hands out as if to embrace me.
お前は私のもの。誰にも渡さない。
But both Kurokami and the female shadows spread their arms and engulfed me. What's going on?